everybody, it's Josh with DCC TV, day one. I'm here with Sue. How are you doing, Sue?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. So tell me, how does it feel to be wrapping up a major series you've been working on for so long?
You know, bittersweet. I just, I'm going to say goodbye to these characters that I've spent so much time with in so many years. But at the same time, I'm anxious to wrap up this entire story that I've been telling for the fans and for myself. And, to get it out there and get some closure on it, that'll be nice too.
As a writer, how does it feel to wrap something up that you have been working on for so long? I mean, I imagine the creative process of wrapping up stories and closing ties has got to be a challenge.
Well, it is, but when you think about an entire series, not much different than the book, a single book, you always have to find that sweet spot about where should I end this. And with the series, you kind of have the luxury of being able to still tease on to wanting readers to keep reading, but at the same time, those standalone books still have that sweet spot that they have to find too. So hopefully, when I do finish it and the readers, finish reading it, they're going to find a lot of satisfaction and, really have a good sense that I gave them a great ride and a good adventure with everything. The other thing, though, that's exciting me and hopefully will, pass on to the readers of this series is I've got some great ideas for new series. And so, in a sense, I'm almost ready to, say goodbye to a lot of these characters in this huge story arc that I've been working on. But at the same time, I'm getting excited and about, moving on to something new, and hopefully the fans, if they've enjoyed this series, will move on to my new ideas too.
Well, as creatively, what other genres would you like to touch on or just jump right head deep into and just say, this is what I'm doing now?
It's funny, I've had friends that have skipped around from genre to genre. I like to just put it all in my own genre in many respects, because the Are Chronicles has always been very much a combination of fantasy and sci-fi. But, if you really read it, there's a lot of adventure, there's a lot of suspense, there's mystery, all of those things that I enjoy reading and have read, growing up and still read. I kind of all combine. And so in a way, I've kind of discovered and created my own unique genre for myself that I think is also the reason it's attracted so many varying, fans of all ages, but all different kinds of people. People who have said, well, I don't normally read fantasy or sci-fi, but I loved your books. Well, come to find out, they were huge, adventure and mystery readers. So hopefully I've touched upon something for everybody in this series, and I'll continue to incorporate a lot of that into the new series that I start.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a great answer. Why writing? Why not window washing or say retail or something like that? What is it about writing that really keeps you there and the want to be a writer?
I think it's a way for me to work out what's bothering me in ways that don't get me incarcerated. And, if I feel like killing somebody, I can kill them in a book. It's to me, and I've said this since day one with the first book, I think writing is better than therapy because, when you kind of are surrounded around with life that's out of your control, I have total control over my worlds and my characters, and the conflict that's there is obviously what we all experience in our everyday lives, and I think that's what also makes for a great drama, good book reading, movies, whatever you enjoy. We need to escape, and so I think I've discovered a great way to escape, whether it's myself while I'm writing them or giving and offering those escapes for the readers and the fans.
Well, what is your creative process? I mean, do you draw a lot of inspirations from other media, or is it something something that's in your head that you just have to get out?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. I'm an eclectic reader. I always have been, and that shows in how I write my stories. I also write my stories the way I like to read. Shorter chapters, cliffhangers at every turn, lots of action and adventure and stuff. And those are the kinds of really accolades I'm getting from even my Kirkus reviews is, wow, there's plenty of everything to spare in these stories. I think the other piece of the inspiration is I just go to sleep, and when I wake up I have something new and something different, or if I get my characters backed into a corner and I don't know how to believably get them out of that corner, I just kind of walk away or I relax, and somehow it just comes back, especially when I first wake up, and I do my best writing in the morning.
Well, this leads into the next question actually perfectly. For inspiring writers or writers that are coming up through the ranks, what advice do you have for them? Should they have a notebook next to their nightstand? Those kinds of things.
I think that a lot of people hear things like, well, you need to plot it out. You should have, a storyboard that you work on, and, those kinds of things. You should be writing every single day. You should have a certain word count that you get out every day. To be honest, that's never worked for me. I can't do things like that. And I thought I was doing it wrong when I heard, a lot of other writers say this is how the process works. I think it's whatever works for you. I'm a speech therapist in, the schools, and so my summer is my intensive writing time because I have a full-time job the rest of the, 9 months. And so for me, it's my way of escaping and going on vacation is to just crank out my novels during the summers. But I enjoy it. For me, it's as much fun as going on an elaborate vacation because I get to go to a world that nobody can, buy a ticket to. So those are the kinds of things. It's whatever works for you. If I don't feel like I have something to contribute, I don't write that day. And I don't feel guilty about not writing that day. So, you just need to find your own niche. And, there's a lot of closet writers out there. They're already, honing their own craft for themselves. And whether they join a critique group or keep it to themselves, be proud of what you're doing and, let people know that you're a writer because there's hundreds, thousands of them out there that you don't even talk to or know about.
For sure, and coming to things like this,
Right.
Sometimes you got to take a chance, right? You got to spend the $400 or whatever for a table, but you don't know until you take that chance.
Right.
When you first sat down to say, I'm going to write a story, you took a chance. What clicked in your head that said, I'm doing this? This is what I'm going to do.
I came home and it was either sit down in front of my computer or kill my teenage son at the time. But honestly, I stuck with it because I had had knee surgery and I just couldn't be very active for several weeks. And I was a very active person at the time and it was driving me crazy. So, I had mulled about some story ideas and everything, and I was actually inspired by the television show Alias. And I thought, oh, I can write, I can come up with some stories, and I just sat down and started doing it. And before I knew it, within a couple of months, I loved it and I wanted to keep doing it. So that's when I took creative writing courses, and I started attending conferences and trainings. And there is a lot of free online stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff that is available to anybody who wants to just take that next step as a writer.
That's awesome. So what projects can you talk about that you are working on that you could tease us with?
Well, after this series, I've been mulling over the idea of kind of a shapeshifter of sorts. 16-year-old girl that on the night of her 16th birthday, she's attacked by a boy that she really loved and really liked in her high school. And the trauma activates an ancient gene that she's inherited and nobody knew about. And every time she brushes anybody's skin, she takes on their appearance. And by the time she gets home after this traumatic experience, her family doesn't even recognize her because she's actually shifted 2 or 3 times on the way home. And so she's out there trying to figure out what happened to her, and then also is there a way to get back. And the tagline that I even came up with already was, she can be anybody in the world except herself.
Intriguing. I dig it. The selfless plug part. Where can people find you on the social medias?
My website is Sue Duff, all one word, SUEDUFF.com. That's my website. And then on Facebook, I'm Sue Duff Writer. Twitter, I'm Sue Duff 55. And on Instagram, I'm Sue Duff Author.
Oh, look at that. There's some synergy there. So with the Are Chronicles, what is your one thing you're taking away from it that's like your favorite thing?
I just loved these characters, and whether or not I continue in some vein with the series itself, there is a part of me that probably won't give them up entirely and will kind of give a few of them their own stories and their own little storylines and all, because I'm not ready to say goodbye to some of them especially.
That's awesome. So where's your booth this weekend? Where can the people find you? And what do you have in store for anybody?
My booth is right underneath the D aisle, ABCD, and you can't miss it. The Are Chronicles has a huge banner with all the books, and I have an exclusive book cover reveal for the last book in the series. I already have that out, and I'm very excited. It's gorgeous, and I love all my books covers, and the last one definitely is doing the whole series justice. But a lot of fun giveaways, with Ian Black, my protagonist, being an illusionist with real powers. I have a lot of magic tricks, disappearing ink, all kinds of fun things at the booth, so definitely stop by.
Awesome. Make sure you stop by Sue's booth. I'm Josh with DCC TV, and we're out of here. Bye!